Hey guys, I'm Eugene Bach with Back to Jerusalem, and I'm coming to you live on delay from somewhere within the borders of America. This is an urgent broadcast. We actually have never done this. Well, we haven't done it, let's say, in the last 6 years where we've actually gone live in order to share about a need. But the situation, as you've been watching on the news in Iran, is extremely dire. I've been working in Iran now for more than 20 years, but I've never received as many text messages as I'm receiving right now. So, this is something that I want to share on behalf of our friends in Iran right now. I know a lot of you have been watching the news and seeing things that are happening, watching what is taking place with the military, watching the leaders of Israel and America and Iran do news interviews and conferences and speak about what is happening economically, politically, militarily. We're seeing all this information, but what you're not hearing is what is happening with the church on the ground in Iran. This is something that we want to share directly with you. We feel that this is an urgent need. For the last several days, I've just been getting bombarded with message after message from our friends in Iran, many of them right now in Tehran, the capital city, and they are asking for help. Now, it is not common for us at Back to Jerusalem to go on and do a live broadcast asking for help, but this is a special situation. We need to be a voice for those that are voiceless. And I just want to share a few things that are happening on the ground right now that I don't think I'm hearing anywhere else. We've been getting text messages about the needs on the ground and how the church is adapting to the almost nightly bombings. What they are doing during these raids, during the middle of this war, some of the things might surprise you. I have a few messages. I'm going to try to read them directly from our friends to you so that you will hear from the voices on the field. And I want to share about how the church is reacting because what I am hearing is things that I've never seen actually done before. For instance, I was just on a phone call about 2 hours ago where I heard that one of the messages that is coming from the Underground House Church in Iran that I don't think I've ever heard shared before is that right now, as the bombs are hitting in Tehran, Christian families are giving God praise in a war. Now, I don't know exactly what your stance is on what is taking place. I don't know whether you are for what America and Iran is doing or you are against it. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to be sharing from a political point of view. I'm going to be sharing directly from the underground church on the ground. I'm going to be sharing what I feel is their voice in this situation that we're not really hearing in mainstream media. So when I heard this morning, while I was on a phone call, that the church, the house church in Iran, is giving God praise during these attacks, I had some questions like, what does that mean? And one of the things that was explained to me is that right now during the bombing raids, and if you're a parent, you'll be able to relate to this. Right now during the bombing raids, there are so many children that are scared, that are hearing the bombs go off outside of their apartment, outside of their home. The earth is shaking. So many places, homes, apartments, houses have drywall that is shaking loose. Dishes that are banging together in the middle of the night as bomb after bomb rattles their home. Beds that are shaking and little children that are scared. And so, what parents are doing, Christian parents are doing with their children, is singing songs of praise. We've been getting information that these songs of worship are helping children cope with the bombs that are going off outside of their homes. This is something that is really unique that we haven't really heard about anywhere else. And I wanted to share that with you because that is a testimony about how God's grace is bringing calmness to his children during a time of war, during a time of violence. Bombs are going off right outside their home, and they're offering up praise and worship songs so that the children will not think about the violence that is taking place outside of their home, but think about the Lord Jesus Christ who is in the room together with them. Such a powerful testimony. We've been getting text messages. I've written a couple of them down. I'm going to try to read them together with you so that you will hear what they are writing to me. One text that I got yesterday said, "Last night was terrible. We've never experienced anything like this before. The explosions lit up the sky, making it feel like it was daytime. There are nonstop bombing raids that are taking place during the day and lighting up the sky where they feel that the nighttime is turning to daytime because of the explosions." But the reverse was true yesterday, where I was getting text messages from people on the ground that said that it was apocalyptic. It was almost like the end of the world was coming because everywhere you look in the capital city was pitch black, dark, in the middle of the day. So just like the night was lit up like daytime, the daytime is being darkened like it's the middle of the night. And one of the reasons why is that the planes that are coming in, these bombing raids that are coming in from the US and Israel are hitting oil depots. And these oil depots are just burning up. Black smoke is covering the entire city, blocking out the view of the sun, blocking out daylight. So nighttime is becoming daytime and daytime is becoming nighttime. And it feels apocalyptic for many of the Christians that are there in the situation. And they're writing to us and they're telling us about what is happening. And yesterday, especially, people were from Tehran were saying that when they walked outside, their throats were burning, their eyes were watering. Because of the oil that is burning, the air is almost toxic and it's hurting many of the people. And right now, there's a massive, massive need. The people are on the border of starvation. For over a week now, almost 2 weeks, we are looking at this war between Israel, America, and Iran rage on. And there might be many different names for it. People are calling it, an operation. Some people are calling it a bombing campaign. But for all intents and purposes, it is a war, all out war, and bombing raids are taking place on a regular basis. And what we are seeing with the economy is that the Iranian real, the money of Iran, is just taking a nosedive. It is plummeting in value. It's basically worthless. So Christians that have savings, Christians that have been saving up money, are finding that it's very difficult to take their savings to buy food, to buy medicine, to buy the next meal for their children because the money is worth so very little. This is why B2J is stepping in and we are sending immediate aid to Iran. Now, we can't give too many details how we are sending the aid or how the aid is received. What I can tell you is that the value of the aid is much more valuable than the money that many of the Christians have saved. Meaning that the aid that they are receiving, they are able to get food, they are able to get medications for their families, for their children, for their sick parents, because the value of what we're sending is able to help them purchase the goods that they need. And I can't really go into more detail than that without giving away security of what we're actually doing to help our friends on the ground. But I'm asking for fellow believers around the world to join together with our Iranian brothers and sisters. Now, I know a lot of people are seeing this battle unfold and they're thinking to themselves that, you know what? Right now we are in a war. This is what happens during a war, and the Iranians are evil. They're Muslims. They want to kill all the Jews. They want to kill Israel. They want to kill Americans. They chant all the time in the middle of their streets that you have big Satan and little Satan, which is big Satan is America, little Satan is Israel. They hate us. Why should we help them? The reason is because the government of Iran is different than the people of Iran, especially the believers that we are working with today. The people of Iran, especially the believers, have suffered a lot for their faith. They are our brothers and sisters in Christ. They are hated by their government as much as the Jews, as much as the Americans. The Iranian Islamic regime absolutely hates Iranian Christians. So the Iranian Christians can identify a lot with what is taking place. Now, you have to remember, I'm not Iranian. Obviously, people that have been following Back to Jerusalem and know me know that I am not Iranian. I live in China. I work in China. I've served in China for well over 2 decades. And what takes me to Iran is the Chinese working together with the Underground House Church inside of Iran. And I've been working with the Underground House Church in Iran for more than 2 decades. And the one thing that I've learned, if I know nothing else, is that the brothers and sisters of the Underground House Church in Iran are just like you and I. They are believers that are being persecuted by the evil regime that has been ruling in their nation since 1979. Since the Ayatollah first came to power, one of the first things that the Ayatollah wanted to do was to eradicate Christianity from Iran forever. They are our brothers and sisters. And I'm not an expert on Iran, even though I've been working there for many years, even though I've traveled in and out of the country many, many times. And I have friends. I've written several books about Iran. I've written many books that you'll probably know. One is called I Didn't Survive, an amazing story by my good friend Nagameh Panahi. Just read that book and it will reveal the underground house church in Iran like you've never seen before. My dear sister Nagame was actually a part of the big revivals that started in the early 2000s. She was at the very center of those revivals as they were taking off. And in fact, she reveals something in those revivals that she was a part of that taught me quite a bit. And that is, we've seen more people come to Christ in the last 20 years in Iran than we have in the last 2,000 years. Something is happening in Iran. There's a war taking place in the spiritual world. And that is why I believe we are seeing a battle in the physical. That which is taking place in the spirit is now happening in the physical. It's almost as the same prayer as it is in heaven, let it be on earth. As we are seeing the kingdom of God grow and expand, explode in Iran, we are also seeing the enemy do everything to cling on to his power that he's had for generations in this nation. And it feels like this is the time where God is saying, I am going to set my people free in Iran. How that is going to happen, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to be a military expert here. I'm only sharing what is happening with the underground church in China. And in addition to the book I Didn't Survive by my friend Nagame, I also wrote another book with another dear friend of mine by the name of Abdul, called Jihad, The Day I Died. If you want to learn about what war looks like right now in Iran, go to find that book. It reveals the military operation and how the Ayatollah and his regime thinks as they plan and stage for war. and how they believe that the soldiers that go forth are willing to commit suicide in their effort to attack Western militaries. Why? Because they believe they are in the middle of jihad. So right now in Iran, if you want to really know what's happening on the ground, even though this story took place in the 1980s, guys, not much has changed in Iran since the 1980s. In fact, Iran did not advance really at all under the regime of the Ayatollah in the Islamic um, uh, political group that is currently running the nation. The extremists that are in charge at the moment has regressed the nation, not progressed it. They've not taken the country forward, they've taken the country backward. One of the things that I have enjoyed doing in Iran over the years is going around and seeing different areas in Iran. And one of the things that I love doing in Iran is skiing. And so I've gone snowboarding in Iran, and I've got on the gondolas that have taken me up to the top of the mountains. And I've gone skiing and snowboarding in different areas of Iran. But one of the things that is unique and universal throughout Iran is the fact that all of their equipment is old. Now, I'm not brave enough. I believe in Jesus Christ, but my faith is not strong enough to fly on Iranian airlines. So whenever I travel into Iran, I'm always taking a foreign airline into Iran. And so I've only experienced like the modern age travel as I've traveled into Iran. But when I've got on those ski gondolas to go up to the top of the mountain, we're talking like 1970s old, rattly, rusty gondolas that, I'm suspended like a couple 100 feet off the ground going up to the top of these mountains praying. My prayer life has never been so good as it was while I was sitting inside those gondolas. That's all of Iran. Iran has so many things that are part of an older generation, because Islam has taken them back to the Stone Age. It has taken back, it has retarded their education system. It has retarded their medical system. It has retarded their transportation system. Everything has been brought back in time instead of going forward because of Islam. Islam is the enemy of the Iranian people. And tonight they are asking for our help. They are asking for us to join together with them. They need food. They need medicine. Right now, the needs are great. That's why we're doing this urgent call to you to pray about joining together with us as we provide aid to our friends in Iran, to the church in Iran, to the underground church in Iran, as they are being bombed day after day. One of the things that a lot of people are asking is how is safety right now for the people in Iran? Now, I've been working together with our friends, getting text messages from our friends, and one of the things that was told to me that I want to share with you that is very interesting is the fact that we actually are seeing that Christians are reporting that they are able to go to the top of their building, go to their window, even though their homes are shaking from the bomb raids. They have reached a place where they feel confident about their safety in the way that they have seen night after night, day after day from the bombing raids, that the bombing raids have been specifically targeting military and political areas where Christians can go to the top of their buildings and watch the planes go in, watch the bombs fall, and feel relatively safe. That is their message. That's what I've been hearing from them. That there are certain parts of the city that are basically untouched, that they are able to watch as the planes go in, as bombs are being dropped, because they know, or they have grown to trust the Israeli and the American military to know that they are not the target. The regime, the military is the target. The leaders are the target, not the people, and definitely not the Christians. So that for me was an answer to prayer. So if you've been praying for the people of Iran, if you've been praying for the Christians in Iran for their safety, congratulations. Your prayers have been answered. This is information that I have been desperately wanting because I'm not reading it anywhere on the news. I'm kind of a news junkie, right? So I'm reading everything that I can. I'm going to all these different websites. I have a list of websites that I go through every single morning so that I can read about Iran. And I'm going through English websites as well as Farsi language websites. And I'm reading both of them and consuming everything that I can. But no one that I've actually read, no news outlet that I've actually been reading has shared that information that civilians are able to watch in safety as this war unfolds in Tehran. Now, I'm not saying that everybody is safe. We know that many innocent lives have been taken. We know that many innocent people will die in a war. War is evil, war is bad. And I hate to see this war. And I'm praying for a quick resolution to this war. But as of right now, we want to provide aid to our friends. This is an urgent need for food and medicines. And everything that we raise will go for that purpose. You can go on to backtojerusalem.com right now, and there you will find a donation button. There's a donation button on backtojerusalem.com if you want to join together with us. You click on that donation button, and it will take you to a page where you will see the urgent aid that we are providing for Iran. You just click there, and you can give whatever amount that the Lord lays on your heart. We're doing this. We're 100% of everything that we raise for this effort will go directly for Iran. And we want to thank you so much for your help. Like I said, for those of you that are joining us later on, this is a live broadcast. We haven't done a live broadcast in 6 years. 6 years we haven't done a live broadcast. And the reason why is because we just haven't felt a need to do like we do right now. We haven't felt that urgency like we do right now. And we don't have a studio. I'm not in a studio right now. I'm actually traveling. So I'm on the road at the moment, speaking at churches, speaking at groups in America, and I'm staying at an Airbnb. And because of the requests that are coming from our Iranian friends, we felt the burden, the necessity to sit down and share this information with our supporters, with people that have been praying for, with fellow believers that have not forgotten the Christians in Iran. We wanted to provide information directly to you so that you will know what they're going through. Let me read another letter from our friends on the ground. This one I actually posted on our website so you can read several letters that are coming from the field. But this came from a dear sister, a mother in Iran. She says this, quote, I am a mother with 2 young children. In the past days, because of the war conditions, fear and a deep sense of danger filled my home. I had no money to feed my children. Many nights, when my children went to bed hungry, I knelt down and prayed in tears, crying out, Lord, pour out your blessing over our lives. In these painful and helpless moments, God heard my prayer. Through your love, church family, the needs of my home were provided. When the packages entered my house, it felt as if God Himself had come to visit us. My children looked on with eyes full of joy and with tears of gratitude, and I whispered, the Lord is alive. He has not forgotten us. These Christians are risking their lives to get us these notes. The government is watching all of the internet traffic that is coming in and leaving from the country. Right now, information is the number one enemy of Iran. It's not, in my opinion, is not the bombs. It's information going out to the rest of the world so that the rest of the world can see the true, naked, evil face of the Islamic regime of Iran. And know what our brothers and sisters are going through. That's why these letters are so very precious and so dear to us, because they reveal the honest moment of raw emotions as they write to us in a moment where they may not see tomorrow, where they got bombs dropping all around them. Like I said, many of them feel relatively safe in the city because they see that there are areas that are targeted, and those areas are military regions, they are government regions, but they're not civilian areas. However, we've still seen many people, many innocent people in Iran die, and every life is valuable. And even though people might be able to go to the top of their buildings and send raw footage of what's taking place, and they might feel momentarily safe from time to time, they're always in danger of dying when bombs are dropping all around us. Right now, we don't know how many people have died here in Iran from the war, but the numbers are right around 1,000 to 1,200 people. 1,000 to 1,200 people have died since the initiation of the campaign against Iran. And when I was talking with our dear friends from Iran, one of the things that one of our friends said to me was, right now, the people are cheering. Even though they hate war, this is what she was telling me. Even though they hate war, they are cheering because more people were killed by the Islamic regime than is being killed in these bombing campaigns. Think about this. Just in the month of January, the latter part of December and January, when we've seen riots take place, protests take place in Iran, the Iranian Islamic regime rose up against their own people. And conservative estimates are about 30,000 people died, were killed by the Iranian Islamic regime, killing their own people. 30,000, guys, is a conservative number. And we've already seen more than a week of war with 1,200 people dying. That means in the month of January, the Islamic regime killed more than 20 times the number of their own people that have been killed so far in this war. Now, every life that is taken is a horrible tragedy. But to put it into perspective of why the people, if you think that the Christians that are rejoicing because of this war are insane or misinformed, think about what they've had to live through since 1979 for the last 40 some odd years. For almost 5 decades, the people have known what it's like to live under the fear of being snuffed out and killed by this Islamic regime at any given moment. And the number one target are the Christians. Christians are the ones that see the naked anger and evil of this Islamic regime. And so this is one of the reasons why we wanted to share with you. You may not hear this anywhere else. You might hear about the new Ayatollah that was just elected. You might hear about the ministry of different departments in the Iranian government that have been wiped out. You might hear about the number of people that are dead on both the American, the Israeli, and the Iranian side. You might hear about the Dubai airport getting hit, or different targets in Turkey or Kuwait or Saudi Arabia being hit. You might hear all of the talking heads on mainstream media, but are you hearing from any of the voices from inside the Christian brothers and sisters that are living through this on the ground? Most of the reports that you're hearing, I dare say, the majority of them, not all of them, but many of them that you're hearing, are coming from individuals that are in safe areas. They're in cubicles in New York City or London, writing stories with a lot of information from the ground, but it's different information than what we are sharing here right now through this live broadcast. And the reason why we're doing it is because we want to share the needs that are urgent on the ground right now. Our brothers and sisters in Iran are desperate and they need our help. I heard an amazing story today, and I can't give many details about it. Not a story, but a testimony directly from the field as we were discussing with our friends about the situation in Iran. They shared with us one of the things that they want to do, and I have to be very careful about how I share this because I don't want to give away any security. So I will be limited in the amount of information that I actually share. But let me share with you what I can, and that is this. There are fellowships, underground house church fellowships that have started up in Iran during this war. And some of the aid that we're sending is going to those fellowships that have been called by God to go to the homes of other believers that are not able to leave their homes, the handicapped, the young, the fatherless, the orphans, the elderly, to go around and meet together with them, to bring them food, to bring them medications because they can't leave their homes. And as these people that cannot leave their homes are praying for God to answer their prayers, this ministry is taking it upon themselves to send out groups to minister to people on the field. How amazing is that? It is during these times of hardship that we see the most amazing testimonies come through. It was aboard the USS Nimitz. I heard that the famous quote during the Battle of Iwo Jima. I remember traveling through when I was in the military on a naval vessel, traveling by Iwo Jima, listening to the quote of a Navy admiral who said that uncommon valor was a common virtue during the storming of the beaches of Iwo Jima, of how the Marines went into that battle. Uncommon virtue, or uncommon valor, sorry, uncommon valor was a common virtue. I find myself repeating those very words of that admiral during World War II as I hear these stories and witness the testimonies of the underground church members in Iran. Uncommon valor is a common virtue. Right now, in this nation of 93 million people, think about that. I mean, if you look at the battle that is raging right now in Ukraine, the war between Ukraine and Russia that's been going on for a couple of years now, like hundreds of thousands of people have died in that war. It's been bloody, it's been ruthless, it's been gruesome. Hundreds of thousands. It's something like 500,000 or something. 500,000 people have died. Every week, we're seeing crazy numbers tallied from people that are dying on both sides. Iran is 3 times the population of Ukraine and 3 times the size geographically. And those numbers so far, they could change. This is a war. And anybody that knows anything about a war knows that things can change like that. But so far, the casualties of the war, and every one of them being precious lives that are snuffed out on a scale with Ukraine, it's not even in the same universe. And we're talking about Iran being 3 times the size geographically, 3 times the population. 93 million people, I think it's something like that in Iran. About 10 million people in the capital city metropolitan area of Tehran. And right now, many of those people that are in that situation, night after night, being bombed, many of them are coming to Christ. We're seeing more people, like I said earlier, I'm going to say it again for those of you that are just joining us. We have seen more people come to Christ in the last 20 years in Iran than in the last 2,000 years. Think about this. We have been getting requests from Iran for hundreds of thousands of Bibles. Guys, we're not even a Bible printing ministry inside of Iran. We work in Iran, we serve in Iran, we provide Bibles in Iran, we distribute Bibles in Iran, but that's not our main focus. There are people that just focus on printing Bibles in Iran, and they are at their capacity. They are printing as many Bibles as they can just to keep up with the demand in Iran. That demand is so big that we, as an outside ministry, are printing and delivering Bibles to the Iranian people. Now, there may be many of you listening today to this podcast, to this broadcast, thinking to yourself, well, okay, there are Christians in Iran. I'm a Christian. I'll pray. There's really not much more that I can do. If you can pray for Iran, thank you. That is more than anything that we could ask. But for those that are thinking about going that extra mile to give to our brothers and sisters in Iran, you might think, you know what, it's just not convenient. You know what, it really doesn't work for me to do that. I am reminded of a Bible verse that I would like to share with you that was written in Iran several thousand years ago. A lot of people don't realize that the book of Esther is one of the books of the Bible that completely takes place from beginning till end, all in Iran. The entire story is about an Iranian king and an Iranian princess and those that were connected to them, the relatives of the queen, the servants of the king, the requests of the queen, the commands of the king. We see this all unfold inside of Iran. Do me a favor this week. As you read your Bible, consider going to the book of Esther and just read. It's a very short book of the Bible. You can read it in one setting. And every time you see the word Persia in the Bible, turn it and say Iran instead. Same area, same people, same group. I guarantee you, by doing this one small change, by just changing the name Persia to Iran, it will completely transform how you feel about the nation of Iran. Now, let me read a verse from Esther chapter 4. I'm going to read directly from my Bible. My Bible might read a little bit different than yours. But as you think about helping, as you think about this urgent need that is needed right now in Iran with our brothers and our sisters who need food, who need medicine, as you contemplate your part to play, let me read this from Esther chapter 4, starting with verse 12. When Esther's words were reported to Mordecai, he sent back this answer. Mordecai was asking Esther to help. There was an edict that was sent out by the king that was pushed by this man by the name of Haman. And he wanted to see the genocide of all Jewish people, for them to be erased from the earth forever. And this really, for those of us that know our biblical history and biblical prophecy, know that this is the enemy trying to keep God's promises from coming true. Because if this edict of the king of Iran would have come to pass, all Jews would have been killed, and we would have never seen the fulfillment of the Messiah coming. And so when Mordecai sent a request to Esther, Esther was like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way, Mordecai. I can't just go to the king willy-nilly and put in my request. I don't know if I can really help you in your time of need right now. I don't know if I can help the Jewish people right now in the time that they need it the most. And Mordecai's answer right here in chapter 4, I think speaks to us today. When Mordecai sent back his answer, he said this, quote, "Do not think that because You are in the king's house. You alone of all the Jews will escape. Don't you think that just because you live in the safety of America, just because you live in the safe boundaries of Canada, just because you live in the safe nation of Sweden or the UK or France or Australia, just because you feel safe with your home and your pizza delivery and your Uber Eats and your time with your family and your church outings that you have planned for this weekend, just because you feel safe, don't think that you'll escape all of this. 4, verse 14. If you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arrive from another place. If you don't answer the call of God right now, God will arrange his help from somewhere else, but you will miss that blessing. I'm going to read this again. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows, but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. What if you and I have been born in this time to join together with our Iranian brothers and sisters, to see them finally break free from the chains of Islam that has held them enslaved, and captive for generations? What if right now is the time? Right now is the moment, and God has called me and you to help set them free. Now, we can choose not to listen, but it will be to our own detriment because God will provide for his people. He will bless his people with or without you. The blessing is for you to be a part of what he's called you to do. That who knows, you and I might have just been born for such a time as this. This could be our purpose. This is the call for our generation. The enemy has held the nations between China and Jerusalem, including Iran, enslaved and captive, and enslaved and in captivity for generations. But this seems to be the moment where freedom is ringing throughout all of those nations. Iran, it might be your time. And it might be your time and my time to join together with our brothers and sisters in Iran to help with this urgent need. Go to backtojerusalem.com right now. Click on the donate button. There you can donate to the needs in Iran, and everything that you donate to the needs in Iran will go to Iran. We're going to do that this week. Thank you so much for listening to this broadcast, or for those of you that have downloaded this podcast. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your prayers. And thank you for partnering together with us to be a blessing for the church in Iran. Thank you guys so much, and God bless.